everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Aurora. Make sure you subscribe because we're gonna be doing a bunch of vlogs and I'm introducing you guys to this new series called Girl Talk. I thought it would be really cool and I wanted to talk about breakups because I had the worst breakup ever. I thought it would be a good time to kind of talk about it, go over some stories, and then also talk about like some tips and tricks on like how to get over breakups. So if you're interested in this video, then just keep on watching. I think one of the most important things to understand when you are breaking up with somebody or somebody is breaking up with you or you're contemplating or whatever it is, that you understand your boundaries and you make sure that you know in your head what you can handle and what you cannot. It is one of the most important things ever because you are your own person no matter if you're with somebody or not, and you have boundaries, you have things that you expect and things that you need in order to be comfortable in a relationship or feel loved or feel secure. And if you don't feel that way, then it's not a relationship. It's not something that you should continue because the relationship should be mutually beneficial and it should make you feel better about yourself and also, you know, feel like you're loved and secure. I always made it known what exactly I'm willing to take, and it's different for everybody. Some people like more security than others, and other people have different love languages. It's all an array of things, but make sure that you understand what your boundaries are and reevaluate and see if your partner is doing those things for you. And if they're not, have a conversation with them. Say, listen, these are what my boundaries are. This is what I want in a relationship. These are my expectations. If you can't do that, that's okay, but this is what I want in the relationship. And if you can't do those, then we can't move forward. If you're not feeling comfortable, you're not feeling loved, you're not feeling heard in your relationship, then that's a good enough excuse to end things. Anytime you feel like this is not good and you just want to move on, that is the time. You need to do what's best for you. I think a lot of people have problems or have a terrible time accepting breakups because they aren't sure as to why it happened, or if you are being broken up with, a lot of people don't understand or how they can move on knowing that they did everything they could and they just like quote unquote weren't good enough for them or whatever. Know that all relationships are lessons. For me, I need to understand what has gone wrong. For me personally, I do not care if it's a negative reason or if it's a positive reason. Even if you're the one that's breaking up with them, you need to understand what it is that you learned from this relationship, because even though it could be the most terrible, awful relationship in your life, you will always learn one thing. And that's what I always told myself, and that's how I move on. If you had that terrible, awful relationship, well, now you know what you do not want next. Or maybe the person broke up with you because you were doing something that they didn't like, or you have a character flaw that you personally don't like about yourself. That's something that you now know that you can work on and move on, so that way you can be better for yourself and be a better partner in the future. Within my last relationship, I never was that much of an emotional person. Like, for example, I would always keep my emotions to myself. I kind of had like a shell and it was hard to break it. And since we revisited our relationship, I decided, you know what, I don't want to have this shell up anymore. I want to be able to have emotions and be upset about things and want better and etc. So I communicated that. I was very flat out and I said, this is what I want. And instead of him talking to me about what was going on and like accepting, he would get upset with me. So number one red flag, that's called immaturity. If your person truly wants to be with you, they will hear you out no matter what it is. Even if they disagree with you, they will hear you out, they will try to understand you, and they will do what they think that they can to make you feel better. There's plenty of people out there that are willing to love you and give you the best that they could possibly give you, and they're willing to dive in fully into you, and there's people out there for you always. Okay, I think one of the hardest things that I've been having since I've been single is alone time and how much is too much and how much is good enough or whatever. I think that's definitely one of the things. But know yourself and know what makes you feel better. I'm an extrovert. I feel off of other people, but I also like to call myself an introvert part because I do need some time alone. So I'm like an introverted extrovert. It is okay for you to break up with somebody or someone to break up with you and then you immediately start talking to other people, or if you decide to go on dates or whatever it is. You do not have to be alone unless you want to, okay? Now, do I think that there is importance in having some alone time? Yes, because I think the only time I have a clear head and when I'm thinking to myself what I want and I know exactly what I want is by myself. And I think that everybody needs a little bit of alone time, but in that time that I recharge, I will read or I'll write or I'll do something that makes me happy. But I also think to myself and say, listen, this is what I want. Think about your future self and what makes sense for you. And if this relationship isn't for you or it never was for you, understand that and realize why, or realize what you need in the relationship, and do not settle for less. You need to be clear and you need to be understanding of what you want. And sometimes with a breakup, you're not always understanding right away. So you need to think about what it is that you want, and you need to be alone in order to do that. But do not feel bad for making new friends or going out and doing things or being more adventurous. And to my next point is to lean on people that are closest to you. Doesn't matter if they're a friend, sister, mom. If they mean something to you, lean on them. You are upset, you are broken, or maybe you're happy and you're relieved, or however, you still need that support from somewhere else. You're losing somebody that was around, negative or positive, and lean on the people that care about you and actually want to be around you and want better for you. A thing that I will tell myself a lot, especially through a bad breakup, is this too shall pass. Because sometimes, especially for me, I give my whole heart to everybody. I am a big lover. I will give somebody everything, and when I'm breaking up with them or they're breaking up with me or however way it ends, I'm always devastated. Even if it's the most negative relationship and it has totally beat me down to my core, I'm always devastated after it happens, always. So I have to remind myself, this too shall pass. This will pass. This is only a point in life where you're supposed to learn and you're supposed to move on, or you're supposed to reconsider things and, look at yourself introspectively. Think about what you would want and think about what would make sense for you. It is not going to be forever that you're going to be upset, and accept that this loss definitely could be something that's life-changing. It could be something that you learn from, or maybe you had to go through something to understand something. It will always be a lesson, like I said before. Recognize when enough is enough, and that too can change in each relationship. Enough is enough is so dependent on what your relationship is. It could be so terrible and you can say enough is enough, they cheated on me. But other times you can be with this person 5, 6, 7 years and they're just okay, but you want more, and enough is enough. Realize who you are and what you like to do again. I'm one of those people that gets into the relationship and 100% full on into the relationship, and I often lose myself. So in the time alone, I think about, oh my god, you know what, I love doing my YouTube. Oh my god, I love doing modeling. What am I doing wrong? Like, why am I not focusing on this? Oh my god, you know that book that I haven't read in 3 months because I was talking to this guy? I think what the most frustrating thing about my past relationship was that, yes, we were together before. I was very clear with what I wanted. He agreed. And still in the end, I didn't get what I wanted. And that happens a lot, because if you are with somebody that is not equally as mature or understanding as you are and not as emotionally available or ready to be with you, sometimes, even though I explained a million thousand times, they still don't get it, because at the end of the day, you guys aren't meant for each other. Whoever you're supposed to be with, you can say, I want A, B, C, D, and this is how. If they love you, they respect you and care about you enough, they will figure out how they can do the A, B, C, D. They will make sure that what you are saying, you are heard and understood, and they know exactly how to help you. And if they don't know how to help you, they ask. They don't get upset with you. They don't get impatient with you. There's only so much that you can do in order to keep a relationship. Relationships are two-way streets. You are going to do something and your partner's going to do something. They need to coincide, and sometimes they want something and you want something different. If you want to be together, sometimes you have to compromise. But if you don't want to compromise, you do not have to. There's so many people out there. If you have boundaries, there's somebody out there that will accept them. I feel like no one talks about this, but this happens to me every time. Every time I get out of a relationship with somebody, they immediately go to somebody else and they're all over their social media and they're all everywhere, but I was nowhere. Unfortunately, that is to make you feel bad about yourself. And do not fall for it. Do not fall for it. And also, the worst thing that you can do is be jealous. Every relationship ending happens for a reason. For them to make you feel insecure about yourself, or to use this other person as a tactic to make you jealous is the most immature thing ever. It is so lame. You are better, and know that when you do see that, you are better. You are better than that. That is on them. That is their own decision and has nothing to do with you. And all you need to do is do you and stay true to yourself. Try new things. Go out with your friends. Find different hobbies or revisit old things that you like to do before your relationship. Know that this is the time for you to fully enrich in yourself and be able to answer the question of, what do I like to do for fun? Or do I even like that food? Do I even want to eat this food? Do I want to work out? Do I not? Do I want to go on vacation, or do I want to stay home? Do I want to live in the same state? Like, this is your time to reflect and understand what means something to you, and what no longer serves you has moved on. And this is a new beginning, and it is time for you to understand exactly what you want, so that way you can move on better for yourself. So those are just a couple things I want to talk about breakups. Hopefully you liked this, and if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you guys have any tips about breakups, any advice for relationships. Let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe. We're gonna be having weekly vlogs and hopefully more girl talk videos like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.